The envelope hit the marble lobby floor with a wet slap, skidding across the polished tiles like a guilty secret finally breaking free. Elijah Harper stared at it from the elevator, his reflection in the brass doors fractured and pale, heart pounding as if he'd just run a marathon through hell. "You think this ends us?" Brandon's voice echoed in his mind, raw from last night's screamfest. But Elijah knew better. This wasn't the end. It was the goddamn apocalypse. Elijah had always been the fixer, the one who smoothed edges and shelled out cash like it could buy loyalty. Born in the Rust Belt grit of Pittsburgh, he'd clawed his way to Manhattan's glittering underbelly on sheer will and a tech startup that exploded overnight. 32. He was the guy who turned apps into empires. But love, that was the one code he couldn't crack. Until Brandon. They met 3 years ago at a rooftop bar in Brooklyn, the kind where craft beers flowed and dreams hung heavy in the humid air. Brandon Ellis, with his tousled chestnut hair, easy grin, and those piercing hazel eyes that promised forever, had leaned in over a shared IPA and whispered, "You're trouble, aren't you?" Elijah laughed it off. But Trouble? Yeah, that was Brandon's middle name. Their romance unfolded like a summer storm. Fierce, electric, all-consuming. Late nights coding side by side in Elijah's loft, Brandon sketching graphic novels on his iPad while Elijah debugged algorithms. Weekends hiking the Hudson Valley, hands intertwined, whispering about adoptions and picket fences in the suburbs. Elijah proposed on a crisp October evening, down on one knee in Central Park, the leaves a blaze of red and gold around them. Brandon's yes was a sob, pulling Elijah up into a kiss that tasted like eternity. The wedding planning kicked off like a fairy tale. A loft venue in Soho, string lights and wildflowers, a guest list of 150 blending Elijah's Silicon Valley suits with Brandon's artsy theater crowd. Elijah footed the bill. $150, 000 easy, because why not? Love was infinite, or so he thought. But cracks spiderwebbed in early. Brandon's late nights at the gallery openings stretched longer, his phone buzzing with texts he swiped away too quick. Elijah chalked it up to stress. Brandon's novel pitch had tanked. Editions dried up. He surprised him with a weekend in the Hamptons, oysters and sunsets, making love under starlit sheets. "You're my anchor," Brandon murmured, tracing Elijah's jaw. Elijah believed him, poured more into the wedding. Custom suits from Brooklyn tailors, a caterer poaching farm-to-table from upstate. Invites went out in embossed ivory, RSVPs flooding in like applause. The bachelor party was the first real fracture. Elijah's crew, tech bros from the startup, hit a speakeasy in the village, shots of bourbon chasing away pre-wedding jitters. Brandon's night was a blur of theater kids at some warehouse rave in Bushwick. He stumbled home at dawn, reeking of gin and something floral perfume. Elijah stirred, half asleep, pulling him close. "Missed you," he mumbled. Brandon kissed his forehead, but his eyes darted away, shadows pooling under them like unspoken sins. Rehearsal dinner sealed the unease. At a candlelit Italian spot in Little Italy, families mingled awkwardly. Elijah's no-nonsense parents from Pittsburgh, Brandon's free-spirited folks from Austin. Toasts flowed. Elijah's dad clinking glasses with a gruff, "To building something real." Brandon's mom teared up, hugging Elijah like a son. But Brandon fidgeted, checking his watch, laughing too loud at jokes that weren't funny. Later, in the cab home, Elijah squeezed his hand. Nervous, Brandon nodded, but his grip was limp, like holding smoke. Wedding morning dawned gray, a drizzle pattering against the loft windows like hesitant applause. Elijah suited up in the groom's room, a converted storage space buzzing with stylists and florists, his black tux hugging his lean frame just right. Mirror check, sharp jawline, dark curls tamed, a smile that didn't quite reach his storm-gray eyes. His best man, Theo, clapped his shoulder. "You're glowing, man. This is it." Elijah nodded, but his gut twisted. A text from Brandon. "See you at the altar. Love you forever." Heart emoji. Elijah pocketed his phone, ignoring the voicemail light blinking unknown number. The ceremony was poetry in motion. Guests filled the loft's exposed brick space, fairy lights twinkling against the rain-streaked skylights. A string quartet played cigar roast covers, soft and haunting. Elijah waited at the makeshift arch of dogwood branches, pulse thundering. Then Brandon appeared, ethereal in his ivory tux, hair swept back, eyes locking on Elijah's with that magnetic pull. Vows exchanged in trembling voices. "I promise to code through your chaos," Elijah joked, drawing laughs. Brandon's was deeper. "You're my canvas, my muse. I'll never erase us." Rings slid on, sealing it. The kiss, God. That kiss. Ignited cheers, confetti raining down like blessings. Reception blurred into joy. First dance to Ho Hey by the Lumineers, bodies swaying under the lights. Toasts roasted them gently, cake sliced with shared forks dripping buttercream. Elijah caught Brandon's gaze across the room, that secret smile just for him. But as the night wore on, Brandon slipped away more, bathroom breaks turning to vanishing acts. Elijah found him on the fire escape, phone in hand, whispering urgently. "Everything okay?" Elijah asked, sliding the door shut. Brandon startled, pocketing it. "Yeah, just work stuff." Agent called. Lie hung heavy, but Elijah let it slide. Honeymoon awaited. Bali beaches calling. They crashed in the hotel suite overlooking Times Square, neon bleeding through curtains. Undressing each other slow, reverent, bodies familiar yet electric. "Mrs. Ellis Harper," Elijah teased, nuzzling Brandon's neck. Laughter bubbled, but Brandon's touch faltered, distant. Elijah chalked it up to exhaustion, drifting off with Brandon's arm heavy across his chest. Honeymoon haze, turquoise waves, villa sunsets, lazy mornings tangled in 800 thread sheets. They snorkeled reefs, fed each other mango slices, whispered futures. But Brandon's silences grew, phone face down more often. Back in New York, reality crashed. Elijah dove into work, scaling the app, board meetings in glass towers, while Brandon networked, coming home with paint under his nails from collaborations. Elijah noticed the cologne, faint but foreign, on his collar. Confronted him once over takeout pad thai. "Who's Alex?" Brandon froze, fork midway. "Old friend from theater." "Nothing." Elijah dropped it, but the seed rooted. Months blurred. Co-op apartment in Chelsea. Weekends antiquing in Hudson. Elijah's startup hit unicorn status, stock options flooding their accounts. He surprised Brandon with a home studio, easels, canvases, north-facing light. Brandon's eyes lit, pulling him into a fierce hug. "How do you know me so well?" That night, lovemaking raw, reclaiming. But doubts gnawed. Late-night scrolls through Brandon's phone. Nothing concrete, just deleted threads. Paranoia? Elijah buried it in overtime. The affair surfaced in shards. A lipstick smear on a napkin at brunch. Brandon's flush dismissed it as caterer spill. Missed calls from Alex. Voicemails Elijah. Accidentally heard, husky laugh. Miss you already. Elijah's world tilted. He hired a PI on a whim, $5K for shadows. Reports trickled. Late nights at a West Village loft. Hands intertwined on subway platforms. Stolen kisses in alleyways. Alex Kane, 28, rising playwright, all sharp cheekbones and brooding intensity. Photos seared. Brandon's head on Alex's shoulder, coffee cups steaming between them. Elijah confronted in their kitchen, dawn light slicing counters. How long? Voice cracked like glass. Brandon's face crumpled. It was a mistake. The wedding stress. I panicked. Lies tumbled. One time, then a few. Elijah's fist clenched around his mug. Hot coffee sloshing. I paid for our forever, Bran. Every penny, every dream. Brandon reached, but Elijah recoiled. Don't. Silence stretched, broken only by the fridge's hum. Divorce papers drafted that week. Elijah's lawyer, a shark in pinstripes, carving assets clean. But the bill? That was Elijah's masterpiece. He combed receipts. Venue, flowers, rings, $152, $347.13 total. Attached photos. Grainy shots of Brandon and Alex. Timestamps from wedding week. A cover letter, typed crisp, for services rendered in illusion of fidelity. Payment due upon receipt. Sincerely, the fool who loved you. Mailed it certified, tracking on. Now, the envelope. Elijah rode the elevator down, lobby blurring. Security nodded. He stepped into the drizzle, hailed a cab to nowhere. Heart splintered, but a spark ignited freedom, raw and ragged. This wasn't revenge. It was reckoning. Rain slicked the cab's windows as Elijah stared out at the blur of yellow taxis and steam-grate ghosts, Manhattan's pulse mocking his own erratic beat. The driver glanced back. Rough night, buddy. Elijah managed a nod. Throat tight. Last night replaying. Brandon sobs on the penthouse floor, begging, we can fix this, Eli. Please. But fixes were Elijah's domain, not fractures this deep. He directed the cabbie to a dive bar in Hell's Kitchen, the kind where neon buzzed like faulty wiring and anonymity wrapped around you like smoke. Inside, the jukebox crooned Springsteen. Thunder Road, a gravelly hymn to escape. Elijah slid onto a stool, ordered a Jameson neat like the lies he'd swallowed. The bartender, a grizzled vet named Mick with tattoos snaking up his forearms, poured without question. To bad decisions, Elijah toasted the empty air, downing it in one burn. Memories flooded, that first date, Brandon dragging him to a drag brunch in the East Village, mimosas fizzing as Queen's lip-synced Gaga. Elijah, buttoned-up coder, loosening under Brandon's gaze, laughing till his sides ached. You're thawing me, he'd admitted later, over falafel in Tompkins Square. Brandon's grin. Good. Ice is overrated, but thaw led to melt. And now, puddles. Elijah's phone vibrated. Theo heard. Drinks? He typed back, solo mission. Another buzz. Unknown number. Brandon's sister. Ignored. The bill was en route. A paper dagger winging toward Brandon's loft. Alex's loft now. Probably. Sheets still tangled from last night's goodbye fuck. Elijah signaled for another round, the liquor uncoiling knots in his chest. Flashback to the wedding eve dinner. that Italian haze. Brandon's foot had hooked his under the table, a secret anchor. But his eyes wandered to his phone, screen lighting his face with a ghost smile. Elijah had leaned in, whispering, "Tomorrow, you're mine." Brandon's reply, "Always was. Bullshit. All of it." The PI's dossier burned in Elijah's messenger bag. Hotel receipts from rehearsal week. Business trip to Chicago that was really a weekend in the Poconos with Alex. Heart-shaped tub photos. Time-stamped midnight. Elijah had retched in his office bathroom, splashing water on his face, staring at the man in the mirror, betrayed, but not broken. Not yet. Mick slid a bowl of peanuts his way. "Looks like you need a story, kid," Elijah snorted. "Got plenty," he spilled, words tumbling like loose change. The proposal under autumn oaks, ring glinting like a promise. The dress fittings where Brandon twirled in silk vests, eyes sparkling. The playlist curation, mixing indie folk with queer anthems. Frank Ocean's Thinkin' 'Bout You, for their walk down the aisle. Mick nodded, polishing glasses. "Love's a thief sometimes. Steals your best self." Elijah clinked his glass. "Mine stole my wallet too." Dawn crept in, gray light filtering through grimy windows. Elijah paid the tab, ironic, always paying, and stepped into the street, air crisp with exhaust and possibility. He walked, blocks melting underfoot, past shuttered delis, steaming carts hawking bagels, a jogger splashing puddles. Chelsea Market loomed, its iron gates a portal to normalcy. Inside, the hum of vendors grounded him, fresh sourdough, coffee beans grinding like fate's mill. He bought a black Americano, sat at a communal table, sketching code on a napkin, an app for tracking lies, maybe, or healing. Phone pinged, delivery confirmation. The envelope had landed. Elijah imagined Brandon's face, pale, unraveling, as he tore it open, photos spilling like confetti from hell. Good. Let it sting. But beneath the rage, a hollow ache. The man he'd loved, the future they'd sketched. Adoption papers half-signed on the nightstand, baby names circled: Luca, for the Italian roots, Jasper, for the stone's quiet strength. Erased now, all of it. Theo found him there, sliding into the seat with 2 croissants. "You look like shit." Elijah cracked a smile. "Feel like it, Theo." His rock since NYU dorms, tall, bearded, unapologetically queer, leaned in. "Spill." Elijah did, from the hook of that first kiss to the gut punch of discovery. Theo's jaw tightened at the affair details. "Bastard. You deserve a parade. Not this." They ate in companionable silence, flakes crumbling like Elijah's resolve. "What now?" Theo asked. Elijah shrugged. "Reboot." Afternoon dragged him to the office, Harper Innovations glass airy overlooking the Hudson. Staff buzzed. Oblivious. "Congrats again, boss." He nodded through gritted teeth, holing up in his corner suite. Code called. Lines of Python a bomb, debugging syntax errors easier than emotional ones. But focus fractured. He Googled surviving betrayal. Articles popping like weeds. Therapy, no contact, self-care. Bullshit platitudes. Instead, he pulled up old photos, wedding album half-built, their faces radiant, unscarred. Deleted the lot, fingers trembling. Evening found him at a support group in the village, Queer Hearts Anonymous. A church basement ringed with folding chairs and styrofoam coffee. Circle of faces, young, old, all scarred by love's blade. Elijah shared haltingly, I thought he was my code, perfect fit. Turns out, he was a virus. Nods rippled, a woman with blue hair squeezing his hand. Viruses get patched, she said. Laughter, cathartic. For the first time, tears came, not sobs, but quiet release. Home to the empty loft, he cranked Nina Simone. Feeling good, letting brass horns chase shadows. Sleep evaded, dreams a montage, vows fracturing like ice. Alex's shadow looming. Woke to sunlight slicing blinds, resolve hardening. Coffee brewed, he drafted an email to his lawyer, finalized papers. No alimony, let him keep the studio. Mercy or masochism didn't matter. The bill was his line in the sand. Brandon's text arrived mid-morning. We need to talk. Please. Elijah's thumb hovered, block or reply. He typed, bills in your court. Sent. Power surged. Electric. Midday meeting, pitching app expansions to VCs. His voice steady, vision sharp. We're not just connecting users. We're rebuilding lives. They bought in. Checks signing like affirmations. Evening ritual. Run along the High Line. Legs pumping doubt into the river below. Past couples hand in hand. Envy a fleeting sting. Stopped at a bench. Watching the sun dip. Gilding bridges. A memory surfaced. Brandon sketching him there once. Pencil strokes tender. My warrior, he'd called him. Warrior now. Solo. Nightcap at home. Herbal tea. Not whiskey. Journal opened. Words flowing. Gratitude, Theo's ear. Code's constancy. This city's endless reinvention. Bed called. Sheets cool without Brandon's warmth. Sleep came. Dreamless. Week 1 blurred. Therapy sessions with Dr. Reyes, a soft-spoken Latina with eyes like harbors. Anger is valid, she said. Channel it. Elijah did gym sessions pounding treadmills, coding marathons birthing a wellness app prototype, mood trackers, betrayal coping modules. Beta testers raved. Launch loomed. Brandon's calls escalated, voicemails pleading, I love you, Eli. Alex was escape, not replacement. Elijah listened once, heart twisting, then deleted. The bill sat unpaid, a silent standoff. Tabloids sniffed, tech moguls' wedding woes, but Elijah's PR spun it quiet. Personal matter, focused on innovation. Theo dragged him to a gallery opening in Dumbo. Street art pulsing with color, queer icons splashed bold. Amid the crowd, Elijah felt stirrings, a painter's gaze lingering, conversations sparking over Basquiat riffs. No names, no numbers, just flirtations fizz, reminding him he was alive. Month's end. Divorce hearing in a stuffy downtown courthouse, air thick with fluorescent hum. Brandon across the aisle, hollow-cheeked, suit hanging loose. Their eyes met, regret in his, steel in Elijah's. Judge banged gavel, dissolved. Free. Elijah walked out into autumn bite, leaves crunching like shed skin. Celebration at Theo's rooftop, craft beers, fairy lights, a playlist of anthems, Chapman, Rawlings, Ocean. Toast to rebirth. Elijah raised his bottle. To fools who learn. Laughter echoed. City sprawling below. Later, alone, he framed a photo, not wedding, but that first bar night. Grins wide. Futures unwritten. Hung it by the door, a talisman. Healing wasn't linear, but momentum built. The app launched to acclaim. Users sharing stories. Your code saved my sanity. Elijah read them at dawn. Coffee steaming. Gratitude blooming. Brandon faded to echo. Text ceased. Sightings rare. Rumors. Alex dumped him. Novel shelved. Schadenfreude? A twinge. Winter whispered in. Snow dusting fire escapes. Elijah volunteered at a youth center, mentoring queer kids on tech dreams. One boy, shy with freckles, coded his first loop. "You're like a superhero," the kid said. Elijah ruffled his hair. "Nah, just human." Snowflakes danced like errant thoughts outside the youth center's frosted windows, but inside, the air hummed with possibility, laptops whirring, kids' voices overlapping in excited bursts. Elijah knelt beside Jamal, the freckled prodigy, debugging a glitchy chatbot. "See? Loop closes here. Bam. Conversation flows." Jamal's eyes widened. High-five landing solid. Moments like these patched Elijah's cracks, thread by thread. 6 months post-bill, and the scar tissue felt less like chainmail, more like armor. Life had recalibrated in quiet revolutions. The app, now EchoMend, topped wellness charts, its forums a confessional for the heartbroken. Queer voices sharing betrayals, rebuilds. Elijah moderated anonymously, his own posts veiled, loved a liar once. Learned to love the truth. Revenue poured in, but he funneled chunks to the center. New rigs, coding camps. Pittsburgh parents beamed via Zoom. Proud, son. Building legacies. Their approval, hard-won after coming-out wars, warmed deeper than bourbon. But echoes lingered. A Times Square billboard hawked Brandon's ex-gallery's show, Ellis. Fractured vows, irony dripping like icicles. Elijah skipped it, opting for a solo hike in the Palisades, boots crunching frost-laced trails. Summit view, Hudson snaking silver, cliffs jagged as regrets. He sat, breath fogging, journaling. What if forgiveness isn't absolution, but release? Wind-whipped pages, answers elusive. Theo's New Year's bash shattered the introspection, rooftop in Midtown, fireworks blooming over the skyline like defiant stars. Elijah arrived in a velvet blazer, curls wild, feeling dangerously alive. The crowd swirled. Artists, coders, a drag king emceeing toasts. That's when he met Luca, tall, Italian-rooted barista with olive skin and a laugh like espresso, rich, bold. Over mulled wine, sparks flew. Luca's tales of Sicilian grandmas clashing with Elijah's Rust Belt grit. "You code hearts," Luca teased, finger tracing Elijah's cuff. "Trying to," Elijah replied, pulse quickening. Midnight kiss under confetti snow. Tentative, then torrent. Fireworks paled. Dating Luca unfolded gentle. No tempest. Coffee runs to his Greenwich Village spot. Steam rising as they dissected indie films, moonlight rewatches. Debates on queerness in cinema. Weekends in his walk-up. Vinyl spinning Bowie. Bodies mapping new territories slow. Reverent. Luca's touch healed. Fingers on scars. Literal and not. The faint line from a childhood bike crash. The deeper ones from Brandon's blade. "Your poetry," Luca murmured post-love, tracing Elijah's spine. Elijah believed him. Vulnerability a gift. Not grenade. But drama stalked. Spring thawed the city. Cherry blossoms pink against gray towers. When Brandon resurfaced. A chance encounter at a Chelsea farmer's market. Stalls brimming kale and artisanal cheeses. sun dappling cobblestones. Elijah, basket hooked on arm, froze mid-reach for heirlooms. Brandon, thinner, beard scruffy, ice shadowed. Eli, voice cracked, like old vinyl. Elijah nodded curt, heart lurching. Brandon, awkward shuffle, weather chat, appraise, heard it's blowing up. Deserve it. Then, the plea, can we talk? Coffee? Luca's face flashed. Elijah demurred. Not now. Walked away, tomatoes bruising in his grip. The encounter burrowed, nights tossing to what-ifs. Luca noticed. Over Thai takeout on the fire escape. Ghosts. Elijah confessed. Bill and all. Luca's brow furrowed, but no jealousy, understanding. He doesn't own your story anymore. They made love fierce that night, reclaiming space. Morning, pancakes, Luca's syrup-sticky kiss. Solid. Climax brewed in summer swelter. Echo Men's one-year gala. Rooftop at the Standard, Hudson glittering below. Guests in summer linens sipping rose. Elijah keynote, spotlit, voice steady. We mend not by erasing, but etching deeper. Applause thundered. Luca hooped from the front row, proud. Post-speech mingle, handshakes, champagne flutes clinking. Then, the intrusion. Brandon, uninvited, suit rumpled, champagne in hand. How? Theo later confessed. He begged tickets. Thought closure might help. Fury simmered. Brandon cornered him by the rail. City hum below. Eli, please. I fucked up. Alex was poison. A distraction from my fears. You're the love. Words slurred slight. Desperation acrid. Elijah's gut twisted. Old pull warring with new steel. Fears? You shattered mine. Brandon's hand reached. Elijah stepped back. The bill? Petty, but deserved. Guests glanced. Whispers rippling. Luca appeared. Arm slipping around Elijah's waist, quiet claim. Brandon's face crumpled. Him? Already? Venom-laced. Elijah's retort. Not already. Forward. Security escorted. Brandon's glare lingered. Aftermath crashed. Tabloids twisted. Tech tycoons X crashes bash. Sparks fly. Photos grainy. Speculation wild. Elijah's bored fretted image. He shrugged. Authenticity sells. Luca held space. Long talks on his worn couch. Jazz murmuring. Betrayals echo. Not end, Luca said. Elijah nodded, tracing his lover's knuckles, knobs like worry beads. Reconciliations ghost-haunted. A letter arrived, handwritten. Brandon's scrawl. I paid the bill. Every cent, plus interest. But the real debt? My soul. Forgive, not for me, for you. Enclosed. A sketch. Their wedding arch. Dogwood wilting. Elijah burned it in the sink. Flames licking paper. Ash swirling down drain. Luca watched. Silent support. Fall painted the city amber. Leaves carpeting paths. Elijah and Luca road-tripped the Berkshires. BNBS with clawfoot tubs. Farm stands hawking cider. One night, under quilted stars, Elijah proposed not ring, but words. Build with me? No scripts. Just us. Luca's yes was a breath. Kiss ceiling. No grand gestures, just truth. Back home, conflicts crested personal. Elijah's app faced a glitch, user data breach scare. Headlines screaming, Echo Mend exposes secrets. Panic roiled. Lawsuits loomed. Trust eroded. Sleepless nights in the war room. coders circling like sentinels. Luca brewed coffee at 3 a.m., shoulders rubbed. You've fixed worse. Elijah did, patch deployed. Transparency blog posted, we falter to fortify. Users forgave. Numbers rebounded stronger. Human threads wove deeper. Jamal's showcase. The Kids app. A queer history timeline. Wowed donors. Elijah teared up, hugging him on stage. Your warrior heart, Jamal echoed old words. Pride swelled. Thanksgiving. Luca's family in Queens, boisterous Italians. Pasta heaped. Nana's pinching cheeks. Elijah's tales charmed. Toasts to the one who mends. His own parents FaceTimed from Pittsburgh. Bridge mended by time. Happy for you, son. Healing's mosaic. Winter's grip. First snow. Central Park saunter. Luca's glove hand in Elijah's. Breaths mingling. Remember our spot? Luca nodded to the proposal oak. Bare now but budding promise. They kissed. Snowflakes catching lashes. But betrayal's shadow tested. Anonymous email. Photos of Luca with an X. Timestamped months back. Pre-Elijah. But doubt's poison. Confronted gently. Old history. Luca's honesty. Yes. Buried. Trust rebuilt. Brick by brick. No bills. Just bonds. Spring renewal. Wedding plans. Small rooftop. Intimate. Wildflowers nodding to echoes. Invite simple, join our rewrite. Theo best man. Jamal ring bearer. Vows. I choose you. Daily, flaws and all. Rings exchanged. Simple gold. Kiss under lights. Cheers soft. Honeymoon. Amalfi Cliffs. Luca's roots. Lemons golden. Sea turquoise. Love lazy. Profound. Back. Life layered. App expansions. Youth mentorships. A nursery sketched. Adoption dreams revived. 1 year post-gala. Echo Men's Summit. Brandon in audience. Clean-shaven. Eyes clear. Post-talk. Handshake offered. Congrats. Deserve this. Elijah accepted. No grudge. Thanks. You too. Closure. Quiet. Elijah's journal closed. From bill to blessing. Love's true currency. City pulsed on. His heart synced. Summer haze hung heavy over the Hudson as Elijah's ferry cut waves. Wind whipping his collar. Luca dozing against his shoulder with a contented snore. 1 year married. And the rhythm felt elemental, like code compiled flawless. Running smooth. But beneath the idle, undercurrents stirred. Echo Men's growth pains. A board push for acquisition. Whispers of VC sharks circling. Elijah stared at the receding skyline, fingers drumming his knee. Penny, Luca murmured, stirring. Elijah smiled, squeezing his hand. Just plotting our empire, Luca chuckled. As long as it includes gelato stops. Back on dry land. Reality bit. Boardroom showdown. Suits in Hermes ties grilling projections. Sell now, billions on table. Elijah leaned back, steepling fingers. Echo Men's not a flip. It's a lifeline. Tensions crackled. Votes split. Post-meeting. Theo clapped his back in the hall. Stood your ground. Hero. Elijah exhaled. For now. Luca waited downstairs. Iced lattes in hand, his barista intuition spot on. Conquest. Elijah kissed him salty. Stalemate. Dinner in. Their Chelsea walk-up had evolved. Bookshelves groaning with graphic novels. Brandon's ghosts shelved. Literally. A nursery corner with stuffed elephants awaiting names. Adoption process chugged, home studies, interviews, endless forms. Patience, their social worker advised over Zoom, a warm black woman named Ms. Patel. You're naturals. Luca practiced dad jokes on Elijah. Why'd the app go to therapy? Bad connections. Groans. But grins. Conflict crested unexpected. EchoMend user sued, claiming the forum enabled a toxic ex's stalking. Privacy breach. Headline screamed, Wellness app's dark side. Elijah's world tilted. Depositions. PR scrambles. Sleep shredded. Luca anchored, nights pacing the kitchen. Him brewing chamomile. Fight smart. Not solo. Elijah did. Settled out of court. App revamp with AI safeguards. Users rallied. Petitions flooding. Save EchoMend. Resilience surged. Personal storms brewed too. Luca's ex, Marco, fiery Sicilian chef from his village days, reappeared at a pop-up dinner in Soho. Elijah tagged along, supportive, but Marco's gaze lingered too long. Compliments laced flirt. Post-meal, Luca confessed over gelato. He wants back in, nostalgia bullshit. Elijah's chest tightened, echoes of Brandon's pleas. Your call. Luca's eyes fierce. Ours. I choose forward. They fucked raw that night. Possession purging phantoms. Autumn's palette deep in doubts. Adoption match. A 6-month-old boy. Biracial. From a Brooklyn crisis center. Papers signed. Heart soared. Naming him Jasper. Stone strong. But home visit unearthed. Elijah's workaholic hours flagged. Ms. Patel gentle. Balance. Or risk. Luca mediated family meetings. We're a team delegate. Eli. He did. Hiring SEO. Carving kid time. Jasper arrived in winter's cusp. Tiny fists waving. Cries piercing night. Sleepless bliss. Bottles warmed. Lullabies crooned. Frank Ocean soft. Luca's rocking. Our little glitch. Fixed. Parenthood's drama unfolded visceral. Colic nights. Elijah pacing with Jasper wailing. Luca crashed from double shifts. Cracks showed. Snapped words over diaper duty. I need you present. Elijah's retort. Building his future. Cold War simmered. Silent dinners. Jasper's coups the bridge. Therapy redux. Couple sessions with Dr. Reyes. Now family edition. Vulnerabilities verb, she coached. Elijah cracked first. Scared I'll fail him, like I failed us before. Luca's hand clasped. You mend. Remember. Reconciliation. Park picnics. Jasper gurgling on blankets. Forgiveness in every burp. External gales howled. Brandon's shadow lengthened. His novel dropped. Shattered oaths. Thinly veiled their saga. Tech lover betrayed. Bill as climax. Reviews raved. Raw queer heartbreak. Sales spiked. Talk shows beckoned. Elijah caught a snippet on late-night TV. Brandon. Poised. Fiction from fracture. Thanks to the muse who broke me. Stomach soured. Luca offhand. Buy it. Burn it. Elijah did neither. Read covertly. Pages stinging truths twisted. Climax chapter. The Bill's delivery. Groom's unravel. Epilogue. Redemption arc. Unnamed lover forgiving. Elijah hurled it across the room. Jasper startling in his arms. Daddy's okay, he soothed, but rage fermented. Confrontation brewed inevitable. Book launch after party. Intimate spot in the Bowery. Literati swirling. Theo nudged. Go for closure. Elijah arrived solo. Luca home with babe. Brandon at the bar, signing copies, eyes lighting on him. Eli. Didn't expect. Elijah Kurt. Curious. Your fiction hits close. Brandon flushed. Catharsis. You. Elijah's voice low. Jasper, our son. Real life. Brandon's face ashen. Son? God. I'm. Words faltered. Elijah pressed. You romanticize pain. Mine was real, yours. Prop. Brandon's plea. Hate me. Deserve it. Elijah paused. Humanity surfacing. Don't hate. Pity wasted art on wounds. Exit swift. Air cooler outside. Text to Luca, free. Home. Healing's arc bent humanistic. Ecomend acquisition talks revived. Elijah sold minority stake. Retaining control. Funds seeding center expansions. Jamal. Now teen intern. Coded features. For kids like me. Pride swelled. Jasper's first's layered joy. Steps wobbly toward Elijah's desk. Words. Data code. Melting steel. Luca's promotion. Head barista. Shifts flexing family. Anniversaries marked quiet. Vow renewals in the park. Rings kissed under oaks. Betrayal's long tail. Anonymous leak. Old PI photos resurfaced online. Twisted as Elijah's revenge porn. Outrage boiled. Queer media decried. Trolls swarmed. Elijah testified to Congress on digital ethics. Voice thunder. Love's private. Pain's not spectacle. Laws tightened. His star rose. TED Talk booked. From bill to bridge. Winter solstice. Family ritual, Yule log crackling. Jasper's eyes wide at lights. Stories swapped. Elijah's Pittsburgh winters. Luca's Sicilian myths. Gratitude circle. For men's, Elijah said. Kisses snow soft. Spring's thaw. Jasper's park playdate. Swings creaking laughter. A dad broad-shouldered. With a golden retriever. Chatted Luca up. Elijah watched. No jealousy. Just ease. Community wove tight. Climax personal. Luca's health scare. Appendicitis. Our dash at midnight. Jasper with Theo. Waiting room vigil. Elijah pacing. Bargains whispered. Surgery clean. Recovery couch-bound. Soup simmered. Scared me. Elijah confessed. Head on Luca's lap. Me too. But we're unbreakable. Bond forged hotter. Summer loop. Ferry rides resumed. Jasper splashing puddles. Ecomend global Berlin beta. Tokyo talks. Brandon faded. Tabloid sighting. New beau. Arm in arm at openings. Elijah wished well. Silent. Journal entry. Bills paid. Secrets spilled. Love's ledger balanced in grace. Autumn winds whispered through the high lines wild grasses as Elijah pushed Jasper's stroller. Luca's arm looped casual around his waist. The city a canvas of rust and gold. 3 years wed. 2 since Jasper's chaotic arrival. And the tapestry held. Phrase mended. Colors deepened. Ecomend's empire sprawled. Apps in a dozen languages. Partnerships with Glad. Billboards preaching heal echoes. Build bridges. But success's shadow loomed. Burnout's bite. Elijah's eyes ringed like raccoons' masks from midnight coatings. Morning ritual. Coffee percolating. Jasper's babble syncing with NPR's Queer News Hour. Luca flipped pancakes. Blueberry bursts for the tyke. While Elijah scanned headlines. Tech titan turns philanthropist. He smirked. The Bill's ghost had birthed this vengeance alchemized to vision. Daddy's famous, Jasper lisped. Syrup-smeared grin. Elijah scooped him up. tickles eliciting squeals. Luca's kiss landed sweet. My heroes. Conflict-crested corporate. Acquisition vultures returned. Google scale bid. 9 figures. Board salivated. Elijah resisted. Soul over spreadsheets. Late-night war rooms. Theo arguing ethics. Execs dollars. Elijah's TED sequel loomed. San Francisco. Spotlight on digital betrayals. Irony thick. Prep consumed. Slides on the bill's ripple. Anonymized as a lover's ledger. Luca grounded. Speak heart, not head. Rehearsal in the living room. Jasper applauding with blocks. Betrayal's echo rippled fresh. Ex-employee leak. Internal memos twisted. Painting Elijah vindictive. The bill mythologized as corporate spite. Stocks dipped. Protests outside HQ. Signs. Love apps. Not lawsuits. Elijah faced the press gauntlet. Rainlash steps. Pain forged us. Transparent. Not toxic. Inside. Collapse. Luca holding him in the elevator. Breathe. Rally cry. User testimonials videoed. Viral wave cresting echo truth. Markets rebounded. Leaker outed. Sued. Personal undercurrents surged. Jasper's preschool drama. Bully taunting two dads weird. Tears at pickup. Elijah's rage boiled. Pittsburgh scars flaring. Storming the office. Demands for sensitivity training. Luca tempered. Teach resilience. Not retaliation. Joint meeting with principal. Calm advocacy. Workshop funded by Elijah's check. Jasper's rebound. Finger paints of family rainbow. Hung fridge front. Luca's arc deepened. Barista empire, his pop-up chain. Luca's bruise. Quironed. Expanded to Brooklyn. Critics raved. Investors knocked. But imposter syndrome gnawed. I'm lattes, you're legends. Elijah's rebuttal. Midnight drive to the original village spot. Neon flickering. Your gravity, hold us steady. Lovemaking in the car. Fogged windows. Reclaiming roots. Climax familial. Adoption anniversary trip. Pocono's cabin. Echoes of Brandon's sin now reclaimed. Lake swims. Jasper splashing glee. Bonfire tales. Esmore's sticky. Night 1. Storm raged. Thunder cracking like old fractures. Power out. Candles guttering. Jasper's whimpers. Elijah rocked him. Luca's hand on his back. Our fortress. Dawn broke clear. Hike to waterfall, cascades roaring renewal. Proposal sights shadow. They scattered petals. Vows whispered. From ashes. Us. Return thrust drama. Brandon's crisis call. Voicemail frantic. Overdose scare. Alex left. Need. You. Elijah's finger hovered. Block or bridge. Consulted Luca. Your ghost. Your grace. Hospital visit. Sterile halls. Brandon pale in gown. Monitors beeping. Eli. Sorry. Elijah sat. No bill. Just presence. Rock bottom's teacher. Brandon's sob. Wasted us. Elijah's truth. Us was lesson mine. Mercy. Left a card. EchoMend forum link. Drive home. Catharsis heavy. Luca's hug. Humanist heart. Humanism's bloom. Center gala. Jamal emceeing, now college bound. Ap his thesis. Elijah's keynote. Bills paid in blood, teach billing in bomb. Standing ovation. Jasper on stage. Mic gripping, love wins. Winter's hush. Holidays hybrid. Pittsburgh for turkey. Queens for cannoli. Jasper's wonder. Lights twinkling. Magic daddies. Proposals to expand family. Second adoption. Girl this time. Process reignited. Hopes high. Springs surge. TED stage. Lights blinding. Crowd vast. Elijah's voice. I paid a wedding's price in pennies and pain. Exposed a secret. Birthed a movement. Slides faded to forum quotes. Bill facsimile blurred. Betrayal breaks. Forgiveness builds. Q&A deluge. Queer youth asking. Heal alone. Never community codes. Luca texted mid. Killing it. Jasper says data rocks. Post talk high. Book deal inked. Ledger of love. Summer solstice. Family picnic. Central Park oaks shading blankets. Jasper chasing fireflies. Luca's head on Elijah's lap. Our rewrite, Luca murmured. Elijah nodded. Tracing constellations, Brandon's scar faint as a scar. Echoes resolved. Brandon's recovery post. Sober. Therapy. New novel mended frames. Signed copy arrived. To the muse who freed me, gratitude. Elijah shelved it. Beside Jasper's drawings. Journal finale. From shocking bill to sacred bond, life's plot. Human penned. Years layered. Daughters arrived. Lila. Fierce toddler. Family of 5. Chaos symphonic. Ecomend legacy. Global hubs. Scholarships. Elijah's gray-threaded curls. Luca's laugh lines deepened. Anniversaries. Rooftop dances. Vows evolved. Through betrayals. To belonging. One dusk. High line stroll. Jasper. Now lanky tween. Sketching skylines. Dad. Your story inspires. Elijah ruffled hair. Ours does. Luca's wink. The best code. Fade to skyline glow. City eternal. Love's luminous.